What's going on, all you brainiacs out there, and welcome back to yet another Football Draft Friday. We are coming to the end of this series of videos, and I cannot thank you guys enough for sticking with me through this entire process as we look at these different prospects and what their potential could be in the NFL. And today, we're going to be talking about arguably my favorite draft prospect, probably my favorite draft prospect, Jaylen Waddle out of Alabama. I'm going to show you guys exactly what it is that's so special about him and why, in my opinion, he's one of the best prospects in this draft class and the best wide receiver prospect in this class. Let's get it rolling.
Welcome to The Lab.
Jaylen Waddle may be the most athletically gifted player in this draft class. I don't care what position. I don't care wide receiver. I don't care cornerback. I don't care safety. I don't care defensive end. I don't care linebacker. I don't care tight end, quarterback, whatever. Jaylen Waddle is probably the most athletic player in this draft class. His ability to go from 0 to 100, to accelerate, is off the charts. I don't care if he didn't run the 40-yard dash at his pro day. I don't care if he would have run it and his time would have been slower than Elijah Moore and Rondale Moore, because neither one of them are better at accelerating than Jaylen Waddle. We talk about acceleration in the NFL, right? Who is considered the quickest wide receiver in the NFL? Tyreek Hill. Jaylen Waddle has a very similar level of acceleration to Tyreek Hill, and that is a crazy comparison. You think that's such a high bar to reach? It is a very high bar to reach. Jaylen Waddle has it. Difference is, Jaylen Waddle is also bigger and stronger than Tyreek Hill. So we're going to get into the film. I'll show you why Jaylen Waddle is now my number one tight end or wide receiver. I just made that change a couple days ago, and you know what? It was coming. I mean, it's been coming for a while. Jaylen Waddle, by far the most athletically gifted wide receiver in this class. In a class of a lot of really good and really athletically gifted wide receivers, Jaylen Waddle has the highest ceiling. I'll show you here why in the film. Jaylen Waddle might be my favorite prospect this season. And that's just because he might be the most electric prospect in this draft class. Jaylen Waddle, every single time I watch these clips that I'm about to show you guys, I want to move Jaylen Waddle from number 2 to number 1 above Jamar Chase. I really do. And by the time this video is posted, there's a chance I will have Jaylen Waddle at my number 1 wide receiver spot. Because when you watch these clips, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the most athletically gifted player in this draft class. And I don't even think that's that hot of a take. Jaylen Waddle is electric. I mean, it's more than just his speed, right? Henry Ruggs was ridiculously fast last year out of Alabama. We've got a lot of guys who are super fast. Rondale Moore just ran a 4.29 40. Elijah Moore just ran a 4.32 40. We're going to have several wide receivers who run in the 4.3s. Jaylen Waddle might not even run a faster 40 time than 4.29. I mean, he might not run sub 4.3. I think he'll run sub 4.4, but that's not what makes him so special. What makes him so special is exactly what makes Tyreek Hill so special. And I'm so excited to get into that here with you guys. We're going to look at some film of Jaylen Waddle against Georgia and against a few other schools. And so I'll just go ahead and get started. We love to start with what he does well. Honestly, I don't know what he does poorly. That's the thing. The biggest thing you can say about Jaylen Waddle is we haven't seen a lot out of him. He got injured this year, and this was also the first year he was really a bona fide starter, not because he wasn't good enough to be, but because last year he was dealing with Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, and Devonta Smith, who were all in front of him. This season, when he played, though, he was absolutely electric. All these clips are taken from this season. I'm going to go ahead and just start off with some speed. Speed. Jaylen Waddle is so fast. There you go. Blows by the defender. Touchdown. I mean, that's just what Jaylen Waddle does. Nobody's going to be able to catch him. Nobody will be able to catch him. He will be a phenomenal deep threat. He just will be. He's going to be a great deep threat in the NFL at the very least, but I think he will be so much more than that. Right here, another one. This is just look at that catch. He's double covered. He actually goes on to wipe out immediately after that. Fun fact, I go to Mizzou, and so I watched this game live. I've got a lot of clips of him versus Mizzou because he had like 3 touchdowns and like 300 yards. He was ridiculous. Right here, I mean, look at this catch. Look at that. I mean, first off, perfect throw by Mac Jones right there. Just want to put that out there. But then, I mean, double covered, Tyree Gillespie on him, and another guy, number 2, is that Rakestra? I think that's Rakestra, and it's Rakestra. So our 2 best defenders, Mizzou's 2 best defenders, are on him. Doesn't matter. He makes this phenomenal catch. The concentration it takes to make that catch, off the charts. Absolutely off the charts. And he gets both feet down. Catch, 1 foot down, 2 foot down. He gets both of his feet down. That's something you don't have to do in college and will just be so good in the NFL, and really goes to show that he's an NFL talent. Right here, we're going to see more speed, because you know what? That's what Jaylen Waddle is. He's fast. Right? And a phenomenal catch, too. Kind of mosses him because it's underthrown. It's underthrown. And he just makes a phenomenal catch. Really, really, really good stuff there. Now we're going to see some, what I like to call, or now we're going to see some more of his athleticism and what he does so well. Oops, oh no, I skipped several places. Here we go. Now we're going to see what some of his athleticism and what he does so well that's more than just speed. Right here. Look at that. I mean, just his ability to weave in and out of traffic. That's what he does so well. His ability to weave in and out of traffic is off the charts. Off the charts. That's what I say. It's more than his speed, right? It's what makes Tyreek Hill so good, and it's his ability to accelerate from 0 to 100 in a half second and weave in and out of traffic. If you give him a screen and if the lane is clogged up, he could still break off a 10-yard run. Exactly like that. I mean, you just saw it. That's exactly what he just did, right? Here he is, right on the inside. Gets that ball. Look, I mean, that lane is clogged. First off, this defender right here is not blocked. I don't know, 59 might get over to him. 59 does get over to him. But look at that. Look at that. And then there he is. And he picks up 15 yards. That's ridiculous. You'll see it again here on this next play. The shake and bake ability is ridiculous. There is nothing to be gained on this run. Like, seriously, he runs into his first... In the open field, you will not tackle him. He runs into his first defender here. Nope. I cut it inside. Oh, look at that. He made this man fall into number 24, and then he got 8 yards off a play where most people probably would have gotten 4. Jaylen Waddle is just that level of an athlete, that special of an athlete. Now we're going to get into, I talk about his shake and bake ability, and that is really the one thing that sets him, the thing that sets him the most apart from other wide receivers in this draft class, other fast guys. But his ability to catch the ball cannot be overstated, because he also has the best catches, the best circus catches of any receiver in this draft class. And we are about to see 2. This catch, not this catch, but the catch I will show after this catch, I think is the best catch of the season. Right here, I mean, he just, it doesn't matter. He mossed the guy. I said it earlier. Mac Jones underthrew him earlier. He mossed him. Here, did it again. He mossed the guy. I mean, that's just, that athleticism is just so good. This right here, though, this is the best catch of the season. This is the best catch of the season. In between 2 defenders, watch this replay. Watch this replay. In between 2 defenders, look, first off, his vertical is going to be ridiculous, assuming he gets that measured at his pro day, which happens, at the time I'm recording this, the pro day happens, actually it might happen today or tomorrow. This is like March 30th, March 29th. So the pro day will be happening soon, and I'm not sure at this point if he'll get tested. But obviously by the time this video airs, we will have known that, because it will be almost draft time. Look at that. In between 2 defenders, just look at that catch. And that's why I want to make him number 1 on my board so bad, and why chances are he will end up at number 1 on my board at some point, even though he's number 2 right now. He's just so special. On top of his ability as a receiver, though, whatever team gets him is getting a phenomenal return man. Just like Tyreek Hill, one of the most special ones. Just how electric he is. I mean, look at this. a lot of that weaving in and out of traffic is something that you want to see for a return man. Obviously, that wasn't a particularly special return, but you're going to get some really, really good returns with Jaylen Waddle. Waddle is the most electric athlete in this draft. He reminds me of watching Tyreek Hill. I'm a Chiefs fan. I watch Tyreek Hill every single week. That is what he looks like. That is what he looks like. Jaylen Waddle reminds me so much of Tyreek Hill with just his ability to catch the ball, his ability to weave in and out of traffic. I mean, there's just so many things I can say about Jaylen Waddle. Most electric athlete in this draft class. Whatever team gets him is really getting a superstar. So where could Jaylen Waddle go? He's going to go probably, almost certainly, in the top half of the first round. And I think he can go as high as starting at number 6, and that is to the Miami Dolphins. Now, a lot of people talk about how Ja'Marr Chase is going to be their pick. In my mock draft, I have Chase going to the Dolphins at 6. So I don't think it will be Jaylen Waddle, but he absolutely could end up there if they think that, like myself, he has the highest ceiling of any wide receivers. Then Jaylen Waddle is the one that they'll go with. If he goes to the Miami Dolphins, though, not sure how much I love him for fantasy. You have Will Fuller, you have Devontae Parker, and Jaylen Waddle, though the most athletically gifted wide receiver, also one of the more raw prospects just because we have not seen much from him. He was a starter only for 1 year. That was his last year at Alabama this past season, and he got hurt halfway through. So we only really have 6-ish really good games of film on Jaylen Waddle. And in those 6 games, he was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. If you don't believe me, go watch his highlights against Missouri. Off the charts good. Jaylen Waddle made some of the best catches, made the best catch, in my opinion, of the college football season in that game. He was off the charts good, but he's still raw. He's probably going to need a little bit more time to develop than Ja'Marr Chase, than Devonta Smith. Both of those guys are more NFL ready than Jaylen Waddle. So if he goes to the Dolphins, not sure how much of an impact he'll make in year 1. So I would probably only be willing to take a late round flyer on him there. Moving down the draft, where else do I think he could go? And this is actually where I have him going in my mock draft. That's just one spot lower, number 7, to the Detroit Lions. The Lions have nobody. They have TJ Hawkinson, they have DeAndre Swift. I think their number 1 wide receiver right now is Quintez Cephas, who was a 5th round pick last year. So if he goes to the Lions, I would be willing to take him a little bit higher. Now, I still believe he's going to need some time to develop, even if he goes to the Lions. But, you can use, he would be a much more focal point of that offense. And you can use Jaylen Waddle, even though he might need some time to develop as a receiver. You can use him running the ball. You can use him in all those different aspects of the game. You can use him like an overall piece for your offense. Get him touching the ball in as many ways as possible because he's that special of an athlete. And if he goes to the Lions, I absolutely expect him to do that. So I'd be willing to take him still in the later single-digit rounds there just because of the potential upside that you have with a chess piece type player like Jaylen Waddle. Moving down even a little bit further, the next place I see him going is probably number 12, the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, the Panthers don't really need a receiver. The Broncos definitely don't need a receiver. The Cowboys don't need a receiver. And the Giants went out and got Kenny Golladay. So I don't think any of those guys will draft a receiver. But the Philadelphia Eagles, if he's there for the Philadelphia Eagles, I expect them to take him. We'll see. I mean, they could also go with Devonta Smith, but Jaylen Waddle, if he went to the Eagles right there, that would be a phenomenal spot for him because they don't have a number 1 wide receiver. They drafted Jalen Reagor in the first round last year. Not sure if Jalen Reagor's ceiling is number 1 wide receiver. I think Jalen Reagor has a ceiling of a very good number 2, but I'm not sure if he could ever be a number 1 wide receiver. Jaylen Waddle, if he stepped in there, could make a big impact from day 1, but there's a lot of guys in that receiving core, even though none of them really stepped up last year. Travis Fulgham obviously is there, even though he kind of faded. Jalen Reagor is there. You still have Alshon Jeffrey, you still have Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. All those guys are still there. All those guys are going to require some level of target share. That could be rough for Jaylen Waddle. So I would probably not be willing to take him more than a late round flyer unless, of course, he starts to really break out there in training camp and preseason and we get a really clear picture of just how good Jaylen Waddle will be in the NFL and how many touches he will get per game with the Eagles. So let's say the Dolphins go chase, the Lions don't draft a receiver, and the Eagles at 12 decide that they want Devonta Smith over Jaylen Waddle. Where else could he go? His slide would stop at number 15 with the New England Patriots. There is no way they wouldn't pull the trigger on one of those top 3 guys if they're there. because they desperately need wide receivers, even with the addition of Nelson Aguilar, even with the additions of Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. They still don't really have a number one wide receiver. If Jaylen Waddle went to the Patriots, again, not sure how much of a chance I'd be willing to take on him. Late round flyer, I think, is the earliest I'd take him because you've got the question marks of Cam Newton. Will he be able to improve from last year? You also have how many targets will Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith garner? Nelson Aguilar had a pretty good season with Las Vegas, and Jaylen Waddle will probably need some time to develop in the NFL, even though they'll use him in some gimmicky ways. Absolutely. Bill Belichick is pretty good at that. I'm not sure how fantasy relevant he would be, though he would have a high ceiling if he would, for some reason, break out very early and be a stud right away. He's got a very high ceiling, so I'd be willing to take a late round flyer on him, but I probably wouldn't draft him too terribly high if he went to the Eagles. I don't really think he'd slide past there. I mean, if he did, you have 16, the Cardinals, 17, the Raiders. I think those teams would also scoop him up. I do not expect him to fall any lower than really there, 16 or 17. And at both those spots, it's similar case scenario. I would not be willing to take him any higher than a late round flyer. So in most cases, Jaylen Waddle is only going to be a late round flyer this year. However, down the future, in 2-3 years, Jaylen Waddle could be a perennial first, second round guy in fantasy drafts because he's that special of an athlete. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us at FF Laboratory on Twitter, check out our website, fflaboratory.com. Next week is going to be the final video. I will be talking about Zach Wilson, breaking down him, and talking about where he could end up. So definitely make sure that you tune in next week, the last Friday before the NFL draft, and get hyped because I am hyped for this NFL draft. Have a great day.